If your palazzo trouser never sits well like this process would change that. So on this tutorial video, I'm going to be taking you guys on how to make a palazzo trouser from a beginner to a pro. So here we already have our pattern rule out. We already rule out our hip, waist, crotch, thigh, knee and the full length. Okay, so here for my trouser we'll be deducting, we are using the biggest part of our body, the down body measurement, which is the hip divided by 4, which is what we are doing on the tape. We have 10 and quarter. Okay, that is what we got here, and we actually measure that on the waist, on the hip area firstly. Okay, we mark that, then we'll go down. We are minus 2 inches for the band for the trouser. Normally we also use that 10 and quarter on the waist and also on the crotch, then connect a straight line together to it. So to get the crotch measurement, we are dividing our hip by 16. So whatever we get, we got 2.5. So you can divide that on your end. So we connect this using our curve ruler. Then from this point on the thigh, we measure our thigh measurement divided by 2. So my thigh is 25. So our thigh is 25. 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. Okay, so measure 12.5 on this part. So you know we are using the biggest part of this body, so measure the biggest part, then get the midpoint at which you want. So to get the length, that's the big the way you want your palazzo to be big. So I want it to be a little bit okay, it should be very fit. So I'm making use of to get that properly, I used my hip minus 3 inches, that's 25. My thigh, sorry, my thigh minus 3 inches, so I got 22. So 22 divided by 4, so is that's 5.5. So after getting the midpoint of this trouser, we're going to be measuring 5.5 on both sides. Okay, so that is what we did here. So to get that, you actually need to use your ruler to divide this by your ruler if you don't have a calculator around you. Okay, so that is how we got 5.5. So we did 5.5 on both sides. Then moving to the hemline, we also did 5.5. That is how big we want our palazzo to be. It won't be that big, it will only be looking moderate, just like the one you saw on the beginning of the video. Okay, then we connected all this line together like this, then connect them to the hip area. Okay, so after doing this, we are going to now move ahead to, and mind you, I'm so sorry because this pattern paper I wasn't able to give us the accurate trouser length of our waist. So we went down to the waist side. From the waist side, we are going to be dividing our waist now, which is 32 divided by 4. We have 8 inches. Okay, so we are now going to be adding, measuring 8 inches plus 1 inch for the dart allowance, because we're going to be measuring dart allowance for this. Then after that, we connect the line together to it like this. This is just a zipper when you're making a palazzo that has a zipper. Okay, so we went down to measure 4 inches for the length of the dart, then come down by 4 inches and also measure half an inch on both sides, and connected them together. And here we have the front pattern ready. So we'll move on to the cutting process. So just keep watching and see how we're able to cut out this, to use also use this to cut the back pattern. Okay, so after cutting the front pattern, we'll move on to the back pattern. So to get the back pattern, we are going to also rule out all the parameters we need, which is the hip, the waist, the crotch and the tie. So and mind you, the tie for the back pattern is always longer Okay, sorry, the crotch is always longer by 3 or 2 inches, depending on how big or how the crotch measurement of your client is. Okay, so for here I'm going down by 2 inches for my clients. That is how I was able to get a crotch measurement. So if you want to get your crotch measurement, please endeavor to let your client sit so that you can measure it from the side. Okay, so that is how we were able to get the crotch measurement. So moving on to writing out the parameters and to indicate there is a back pattern. So here we're also going to be using the biggest part of our down body, which is the hip. So we measure the hip on all of the side, and for the crotch measurement here we're going to be adding 1 inch after dividing your hip measurement by 16. So we are adding 1 inch. Whatever you get, you're going to be adding 1 inch. So what we use at the previous side for the front was 2.5. So here we're going to be making of 3.5. So we are going to also be imputing the thigh divided by 2. Okay, we also move down to the knee length. So what measurement we're going to be using for the knee length is actually 22. So how to get that is whatever your thigh measurement is, you're going to do minus 3 from it. So my client thigh measurement was 25 minus 3 was 22. So 22 divided by 4 is actually giving 5.5, that's 5.5 inches. So after getting the midpoint of this pattern, which is using the your thigh, then getting the biggest part of it, getting the midpoint, then we are now going to be measuring from that midpoint. You measure from this end, you measure 5.5, then for the other hand you measure 5.5. That is how it will be so accurate. So one side will not be bigger than the other. Okay, so that is how we were able to get this pattern, or we're able to get it. So let me go again. To get the length at which, how big or how much you want your palazzo to be, how big you want your palazzo to be, you minus 3 from your thigh measurement. So my client's thigh measurement is 25, minus 3 is 22. So we use 22 for the length of the palazzo. Okay, so move on to the dart measurements and also the waist. We measure 8.5. So to get the waist for the back pattern, you're going to get the midpoint of that hip measurement you used before. So after getting the midpoint, so whatever your waist measurement is, you divide it by 4 inches. Okay, so here we have 8. That 8 also divided by 2, that is 4 inches. Okay, adding half an inch to it, that's 4.5 for the dart. That is how we were able to get the distance. And you're also going to be using your curve ruler to curve in your crotch line to go in like this. Just as you can see, that at the front pattern we were not able to do this, but for the back pattern we went in from your crotch line. That actually enables your trouser to sit perfectly at the back, so it will not bring out, it will not have this budgie part. Okay, just like the way the zip is always budgie at the back, so it will not have that effect. So it enables your trouser to sit well perfectly. Okay, hope you get that. So from that end, again, now you're not going to measure your dart measurement, which is 4 inches. Okay, then we also go down by 4 inches, and that is where we move on to cutting out this pattern, just as you can see like this. So I'll also go back to how you'll be able to get your measurement for the back, your waist measurement. So also you're going to get the midpoint of that hip measurement you used before at the waist. After getting the midpoint, so from that midpoint now you measure whatever your waist measurement is divided by 4, and that 4 divided by 2, that is again. And here you can see how we're able to curve in your front pattern. If you actually want to, the bum bum is actually will actually raise your trouser and to sit well. So if you want to do that, you can go in by half an inch. For this, you can see that I'm repeating it so you can get it perfectly. So you can actually go down by that half an inch on the front pattern and then connect it together if you don't want to add an addition to the back pattern. And this is where we move on to the cutting, and knowing fully well that the pattern paper wasn't enough for the full length of the trouser, so we completed the length on the fabric, and that is where we move on to the cutting. And this is the front pattern, mind you, so we are adding allowance for the sewing. So I added 1 inch allowance for the sewing of this trouser. So but for the back, you're going to be adding about 2 inch, because normally the front pattern and the back pattern are not always equal. The back trouser is always bigger. It's always bigger than the front pattern. And after then we'll move on to the back pattern. So here I'm going to be measuring um adding 2 inches allowance on both sides, okay, so that it can actually fit well on the person and give a nice shape. Okay, so let's move on to getting cutting this pattern on our fabric. So here I didn't cut out the pattern for the front, so I'm going to be adding at the crotch area for the back, so that it can actually raise your bum bum and to also be equal to the one we have at the front. Okay, so this is how you're going to be covering it on your fabric together like this, so that after sewing it will not have any reason to raise at the back. It actually sits well with the one at the front. Then you also join all this pattern together and also move on to joining the band. So this is where we've already joined down um the two trousers together, both the front. We joined it separately, and the back we also made the dart. And move on to measuring the normal measurement for the waist, the hip. So we now note that 1 inch is what we are going to be using to hold down this, sorry, half an inch is what we are going to be using. And here, shout out to this marker, because I got this marker from the market. So just in case, if you want a very good marker that enables you to sew a white fabric or a black fabric, you can go to the market, purchase this pencil marker, that's tailoring chalk, pencil tailor chalk, that enables you to see whatever you're sewing when making a clothes that is so visible. So if you want to actually remove this marker from your dress, you have to use your iron. So irons enables it to the marker to move away from your clothes after sewing, so it doesn't have any stain on your fabric. So here we are moving to the front pattern, which is the top, the shirt for the trouser. So we already rule out our normal starting point. Then we went down to measure our shoulder to bust line, shoulder to under bust, and shoulder to half length, also shoulder to the full length. So here we is a cut together shirt or cut together top. So we actually increased by 7 inches, because we are going to actually be having something that will be folding it back. So here we went down by 9 inches. Okay, from that point, now we are going to now start by measuring our round bust measurement. Our round bust measurement is 39. So 39 divided by That is the biggest part of the upper part. That is 9 3/4. That is how we are going to be imputing this 9 3/4 on this point on the bust line. Then we added 1 inch on for the sewing allowance. Then we also did the same to the waist and also to the hip. Okay, the reason why we did it to the hip is because it actually be sitting well on the hip. We are not going to be needing the hip measurement because the top is not getting to the hip area. It's only stopping at at 2 inches or 3 inches away the above the hip area. So from there we are going to connect all the line together and move on to the neckline. To get the neckline, make use of 3 inches width and 1 inches depth. This is actually for the back pattern. So when we're making the front pattern, we're going to be going in by 3 inches depth for the neckline of the front. Okay, so here we already cut out this pattern, and then we move on to cutting this on fabric. And I also told you that, guys, that you're going to be cutting the neckline for the front to be 3 inches depth. So we added another allowance, which is the sewing allowance, and extra allowance just for you not to get short. And here we're already cutting out the 3 inches depth for the front line, and then we're going to be moving onto the sewing allowance. But before sewing, I'm going to be weaving all this fabric together just for you to give you a neat look. Then we're going to go down by 6 inches at the front pattern. We're going to go down by 6 inches. That is actually for the flap of the front. So we are now going to be cutting out a 2 inches unfolded 2 inches. That's on together is 4 inches. So if you fold it, it will be 2 inches. We're going to be folding it together and then connecting to the sleeve. And then on this part, we are going to we already cut out a flap that will be sitting for both side of the neckline. So we made a V shape for the neckline before connecting the flap. Okay, that gives the effect that we saw on the style. So when you're making yours, endeavor to notch the part so that you know where you're going to be stopping when connecting the flap together to the fabric. Okay, so we already connected the other side. Then we are now going to be using this other side to close down what we have at the other side. And this is what we have at the end of the day. So I hope you found any value in this video. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And here we measure the neckline for the top to cut out the collar for the this thing. So to cut the collar, we are going to be folding it into like a 180-degree flare. So I measure what we got from the collar from the neckline. That is what we are going to be using to measure here. So after that, we are going to be cutting out this collar and also be using the collar to cut out another one just to um sew them together and give it a very neat look. Okay, and here we have the second collar, and we move on to the sewing of this collar together. And voila, this is my client. You can see how amazing it looks. See you guys on my next video. Bye.